Okay. Oops, okay. Of course, we'll just cut and paste the other part in again. Copy the start of it like usual. Okay. What was it called? What was it? Okay.
Cup of tea?
I know thanks.
Come on, look it off. Okay. Okay, ready? There we go. Good morning and welcome to the health and safety presentation, and thank you for coming. This presentation will be approximately 30 to 45 minutes long. Before I start the presentation, there are some safety and general information which I want to talk to you first about. The toilets are located at the back of the room. Males are on the right, females on the left, and disability toilets are in the middle. The exits and safety exits are on both sides of the room. If there is an emergency, you should follow safety procedures, which is the procedure to listen to the presenter who will give you instructions, but most of all, it's not to panic. Do you have any questions before I continue?
No.
Okay. The aim of the health and safety presentation is to discuss a risk assessment which has been just previously carried out, and of course the review of the organisation policy and procedures regarding safe home and visiting for the outreach community case managers. So today we're here to discuss the organised policies and procedures regarding safe home visiting policies and procedures. We're going to discuss the results of a risk assessment which has just been completed, followed by reviewing the organisation policies and procedures. WHS housekeeping. Effective housekeeping can eliminate some workplace hazards and help get a job done safety and property. Poor housekeeping can frequently contribute to accidents by hiding hazards that can cause injuries. In the community sector, good housekeeping is having a good evacuation procedure, having good home visiting procedures, making sure you have all the right safety equipment to do the job. Make sure that when you enter someone's home, check for hazards, risks before you start, which is a good housekeeping tool. Okay, the result of the risk assessment what has just been completed is that the initial assessment in the home, and the risk is to enter an unknown environment with an unknown risk. That's the hazard part thing. It's potentially unsafe environment, including unrestrained animals, firearms, unknown personal alcohol, and drugs and violence. This is likely to happen and cause severe injuries to a person or even loss of life, and the risk is high. Home visits. Once on a visit, staff have no way of contacting office. In case of an emergency, unable to connect to help or raise alarm or danger. That's the risks. This is likely to happen and cause severe injury to a person or even loss of life, and the risk is high. Cancelling home visits when unsafe environment presents. Entering unsafe environment to conduct support sessions when clients is under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Potential for violence. This is likely to happen, but it's not life-threatening, but might cause minor injuries and the risk is low. Okay, control measures. The following table discusses the order of controls which should be put in place to control a risk. The first control is elimination. If you see a risk or a hazard, you try to get rid of this. If your safety is threatened with physical harm, you may immediately leave. If the client is being aggressive, also leave. And that eliminates the threat. The second control is substitution. This is replacing the hazard with something else that is less hazardous. If the client is being aggressive, have two people there to help. Always carry a mobile phone to contact. Engineering controls is the third control. This is when you try to separate the hazard. You can make sure you have clear exit routes, always have keys on you, and also if anyone else is at home. And the fourth control is administration controls. If a workplace or equipment cannot be made easier, it is possible to adopt a safe work method. Put in a safe home visiting policy and procedure is probably the easiest way. The safety home and visiting policy and procedure. This policy has been developed to enable staff employed by Southside Community Services to carry out home visits with a high level of safety. This policy and procedures states what you should do when you arrive at the client's place, what you should do at the client place, and after you leave. This also tells you how to handle hazards and risks when visiting clients' homes. This also states what managers and supervisors should do as well. Monitoring of the new policy and procedure. To monitor this, it's to elect a health and safety representative, which is an elective employee or a designated point of contact for the college or OH&S issues. They act as a link between management and employees, as they are accessible and understand the work environment and employees' needs. Another method is the health and safety committees, which consist of a group of workers and managers who meet to develop and review WHS policies and procedures for a work group. You can use a health and safety benchmark, which measures the results, which is a good way to tell you if it's working as well. To review of the new policy and procedure. Reviewing the new policy and procedure should happen on a regular basis, as hazards and risks change all the time. So on a 6-month basis, it should be reviewed. By using the information gathered by the monitoring, this policy and procedure can improve this policy procedure, but to keep it up to date, they might regularly review legislation, seeking out expert WH specialist advice, consulting with peak bodies regularly to get more information. Further information. The manager of Southside Community Centre is in charge of all further information related to safe home visiting policy and procedures. Working with the Health and Safety Committee, they update procedures and policies, which then pass on to the outreach of the community case managers. Just before we end the presentation, there is one PPE, protective equipment, which has to be demonstrated, which is simply how to wear proper clothing when entering a client's home. In other words, just to wear your uniform, nothing, no rings, no extra jewelry, carry no arms, nothing. I think always have your keys in your pocket and your phone just in case. No no high heel shoes, more like flat shoes, and just your uniform like this. Is there any question?
No, it's quite.
Okay, thank you for coming to this presentation, and that's it. Now there's been an earthquake, okay? A little earthquake. So I'm going to tell you what you have to do now, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, the evacuation has been, so don't panic. Just grab your personal belongings under your thing. Stand up as quickly and quietly as you can, in a straight line, one row at a time. You go to the closest safety exit to you, which is on the right. So in a straight line, just follow one in a straight line. No running, no pushing and shoving, because it will cause dangerous things. And once you start going in that line, don't go back for your personal belongings, because it will be too late. There is an assembly point. Just follow the leader, which will be one of the presentators. Will lead you to the assembly point, which is just out on the front lawn. And that you just follow the exits. Move quickly, but don't run. Yeah, you use the sticks, even if use the stairs if the building has lifts. If you see a disabled employee and visitor, give them a hand, help them. But whatever you do not re-enter the building under any circumstances, even if it's to retrieve personal belongings. If something happens as you are going out, and don't stop, keep going, because they'll be found, because all the presentation and the supervisors will end up going out last to check if all employees or staff or clients all are out safe. And don't leave the assembly area until your name gets ticked off. That's it.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yeah?
Yeah. You don't have to cut that part. That's just the emergency.
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets through. Hopefully.
We're not going to listen to that, do we?
No, you were meant to go and